Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hello and welcome to Share Talk. Today I'm joined by Colin Bird, who is Executive Chairman at Xtract Resources. How are you today, Colin?
I'm very good, thank you, Zach. And how are you?
I'm doing fine. There was a promise that there would be assay results imminently, and it would appear they have just arrived.
Yeah, that's correct. And I say just arrived, there's quite a bit of work to do with them to get to understand them and check out, quality assurance exercises. But yes, we're getting them out into the public domain as fast as we can, as evidenced by that RNS today.
According to initial investigations, are things as you expected?
Now then, what was the purpose of the first hole? As we said, it was a fairly boisterous hole. It was how far does the plunge extend? And of course, boy, did it go. It went a long, long way. One forgets, but in the 1,100 meters. And that was the purpose of the hole, to test the depth of the plunge. And of course, we're delighted because 920 meters, starting at 110, was actually mineralized all the way. What was quite remarkable, like in my experience anyway, was the kind of a uniformity of the intersections and of the values. So, no doubt that this is a true porphyry. No doubt it's typical for the area. And no doubt that the presence of molybdenum throughout the varying grades, throughout the intercept, molybdenum all the way. And why do I say that? It's not going to add up to the value. I doubt whether we'd be extracting molybdenum, but it's a very, very solid indicator of the porphyry system. So what did it prove? It proved that it was 920 meters long. Well, no, it was over 1,100, but it proved in assay terms that it was 920 meters of continuous mineralization. And of course, that was at 0.33 copper equivalent. We had 156 meters at 0.52 copper equivalent, 186 meters at 0.4 equivalent, and 44 meters at 0.55 equivalent. So you can imagine, with me being the copper bull, and I've been so for a couple of years in our various discussions, I'm delighted with the copper content, and I'm delighted with that first plunge hole. And I don't think we could have wished for anything better. Continual mineralization, no gaps, mineralized all the way has to be good, with some quite extensive zones of 1 over 0.5, 1 over 0.55, and then 0.44. You'll see that also that we've got silver in there, as well as some gold. So very, very pleased. I think I've said on a number of occasions on your programs, your interviews, that I expect the porphyry to be copper dominant, and that's what it is. It compares very well with Boda. In fact, the grades are invariably better than Boda, and everything I was going to say expected. I didn't know what to expect, quite frankly. That's why you drill, but it's certainly in line and more than I expected to be. I didn't expect the hole to be virtually entirely mineralized, copper mineralized. So very pleased, Zach. Very pleased. Very pleased.
And of course, the big question is, what are the next steps? How do you progress from here?
Well, the next steps, of course, we're waiting for holes 2, 3, and 5. They will tell us what it looks like across the plunge. Because remember, we're looking like, it's almost like a cake, You stick the piano wire into the cake, and you might hit a cherry, you might hit a raisin, you might not. If you go across the cake, the Swiss roll from the other side, you might hit some. So the test now is you've got the length, the dip, so you're going to drill right across that. And so obviously we're going to be very excited about receiving holes 2, 3, 5. Of course, we're carefully watching the progress of hole 6. And you will see that hole 6 is currently being drilled. I've got a target depth of maybe 350, 400 meters. At 25 meters, we intersected mineralization. So this adds a lot of theory, and that mineralization is porphyry type mineralization. So that adds a lot to our theory, the chimney theory, that there were several of these porphyries. All sixes, that's thrown up that surprise. So what next? It's almost based on what I've said, but of course we made the decision before. We're going to do some more geophysics. Really, we're going to test Racecourse, the one we're on. We're going to go over Foot Rot, and we'll probably go to the western north to test some of the other very favourable shows which were not properly tested in the past. And the resistivity can go down as far down as 1,500 metres. We're going to model the 3D model. We're going to put in every bit of information this old program has generated, all of those that we've drilled. We're going to generate a 3D model, and then we're going to design a phase 2 drilling program, because this drill hole, I'm sure the rest, let's wait. We'll wait for the results, but I'm pretty sure we're looking at confirmatory type assays. We've got the plunge. We've got the width across the plunge. This will give us orientation, thickness, depth, inclination, attitude, tendency to turn over, tendency to wander east, disposition of the copper values, copper grades. In a month or so's time, we will have a very, very good idea of the shape and projection of this ore body. So, first of all, some geophysics to assist our targeting, and to have a look at foot rot, and to have a look at some of the exposures, especially after the sort of thing you've seen, in 06, all of a sudden a chunk of porphyry pops up at 25 metres. Interesting, to say the least. And then we'll design our second drilling program, which will be aimed at the 2 million tons of contained copper, because that's our goal, that's our target. So it's very exciting. We're very pleased with this. And of course, we can't wait for holes 2, 3, 5, and of course 6 are going to be out there. But, hole 2 will tell us an awful lot, as will hole 3. And then, of course, it's quite frankly, Zach, we've been drilling so fast that we beat the cutting machine. It can't catch up. I'm quite confident that hole 2 will be out in the not too distant future.
To summarise, and for people who are maybe not experts in the nitty-gritty of mining, you can confirm that you have let's say a world-class asset, a significant asset, and there's still plenty to play for in terms of what could yet be discovered.
Yeah, you could put it that way. I wouldn't disagree with you, but I'd say that hole number 1 was there to test plunge, and instead of stop-start, some grades, no grade, some grade, no grade, 920 metres all the way has really, really excited me. I'm very, very pleased with that part of the outcome. The grades, as I say, the uniformity have made me happy. The average grade over 920 metres, I think is quite phenomenal. And some of those selected runs of 186 metres at 0.4, you can't not be pleased. And 156 metres at 0.52 copper equivalent. Again, you cannot be pleased with that result. So yes, we've laid the foundation stone. We showed that this porphyry is much deeper than Anglo-American or anybody thought, for that matter. Mineralized all the way. Now we're going to get to know the width and the way the assays present themselves across the width of the plunge. So, absolutely delighted. Couldn't be more pleased with this result.
Colin Bird, Executive Chairman at Xtract Resources, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.